There's one piece of advice you should really hold close. Is that you don't need some sort of new year or a new planner or a certain set of days or structure to convince you that you're able to work hard. The truth is, you just need a good 30 days of structure, a good 30 days of rotten discipline that build up the habits that allow you to just seamlessly work hard. Most men love to stay stuck because their life has no blueprint. But the truth is, they're living in just chaos, nonsense, and they think they got to start from scratch. But if you just slowly work your life in day by day, I guarantee by the end of the month, you'll be set. Howdy, my name is Nolan T. Painter. I'm in a completely different environment filming these videos if you haven't realized yet. I'm back home now, but nonetheless, I'm going to try my best to keep the videos going. So of course, today's video is on how to change your life in 30 days based on the masculine blueprint, based off of my own experience. I went to university that was far away from back home. I lost family, I lost friends, well, all of them, and I even lost what I would hopefully love to say my future wife. I know it sucks. And I had a good month to set myself up. That was a month to start learning languages. That was a month to start going to the gym regularly. That was a month to get my school assignments and whatever it was in order. And by the end of the month, not only had everything set up, but I had everything organized so that way the next month was already underway. And I'd love to teach that to you, but it's not something you can just watch from a YouTube video and then you're golden. This is something you really have to implement into your life. And unfortunately, it happens one day at a time, whether you like it or not. So there's no fast track, there's no speed running it. You don't get to the end of the 30 days in 30 minutes. You have to just do it the hard way. But the hard way will build discipline, which builds habits. Isn't it nice when making money's easy? And isn't it nice when people love you and it feels easy? That's comfortable. And you know what comfort comes from? Habits. So make the habits easy. After all, making money and having success isn't hard. People make it hard because they work in the wrong areas. So build the right structure and the right system. So in that, we find the reason why 99% of men never change. I mean, think of it. Everyone wants to be a millionaire, but really only 1% of people are. Because men try to do everything at once. They try to condense that 30-day trial period into only 10 minutes, and it just falls on their face. You can't do it. Doesn't matter how strong you are or how much will you have, you can't bend your attention to all of them equally. And sometimes you need to focus on certain things given their circumstances and the priorities that you have within yourself. And you just can't give attention to other things. You can't shadow box every night when you're too busy focusing on a school assignment. And you can't read your book every day when you're forgetting to bring it with you. So huge goals, like impossible routines or strict discipline, oftentimes crash down by the third day or fall apart when priorities tend to shift. One day you might have a lot of free time, but I guarantee it tomorrow you likely won't. So how can you manage these things around yourself to build the proper habits? Well, that's when we find where masculine growth is built through simple, repetitive actions that turn into habits, not heroic bursts of motivation. And we find the 30-day masculine blueprint that I've set up. So the first one is movement. So you have to build discipline. You have to be doing something. So what are some things you really want to introduce into your life that are beneficial to your goals? If you don't know that, well then go back to step 0, which is reflecting and discussing your goals. Reflection is actually essential. Like it's a serious thing. I know people like to clown on it, but it's a big deal. I spent a lot of time in isolation, like a lot of time in isolation, and it allowed me to reflect a lot. Now, reflection hurts because you're facing a reality oftentimes you don't want to face, but it's necessary. So put your phone down and just spend a couple hours just chilling out once in a while. Like, seriously, that'll help a lot. It's impossible for people nowadays to reflect because wherever they go, they have a phone. Not to say that phones are evil, but when you have a distraction in front of you that just takes a little bit of your brain power, you can't focus at all on learning from yourself. But, then you move into movement. So is basically the principle of building something. You want to go and do something. And then you need stillness. So step 2 is stillness. So once you're moving somewhere, you can't move somewhere else. You have to stay there. So be still. So you have to build the emotional control to not impulsively move to another task. I mean, I've been doing this YouTube channel for about on my 3rd month now, and I've just been doing it consistently. And that comes from having the movement, but now I'm staying still. I'm digging myself into a pit and I'm digging deeper every single time I make a video because I don't want to jump to the next thing. I don't want to impulsively just give up on this and try the next startup. It's going to fail because I wasn't consistent in it. And then of course we find creation, which is step 3. You have to build your purpose. I'm finding purpose through this. And you know what? If this doesn't become my purpose, I can say with confidence I'll move to the next thing with eagerness and strength, not impulsivity. And then we create standards, right? That standard of how well I'm going to perform, which builds my identity. I'm a man who does this. It's not necessarily a challenge, but this is a redesign of who we are. So let's look at the first pillar, movement. So your body leads your mind. So think of it like being physically active. I know in the example I talked about pushing yourself, but there's no better way to push yourself than to be physically active. So maybe that's doing a 20-minute walk. Maybe that's doing some jumping jacks or stretching before going to bed. Maybe it's shadow boxing and you want to watch some YouTube videos to learn. Maybe it's one set of push-ups. Maybe it's a small gym session. Maybe it's just making a routine that forces you to go to the gym. Whatever it is, you need movement, because the healthier your body is, the healthier your mind will be. Imagine you were some fat slob. You're probably feeling pretty crummy. That's another thing to add onto the pile. I'm a skinny fit dude. I don't got to eat much to stay healthy, but I still have so many otherworldly things that just crash down at me at the same time. So I'm grateful, but I can realize and appreciate those who are not physically healthy, because imagine having all the same things I'm dealing with put on them. They couldn't do it. So you need to stay physically fit. It's a non-negotiable. You need physical movement. Coming back home, I'm looking frantically for gym memberships that are within my allotted time that I'm allowed to be home for. And I don't care what my parents say or what my friends say. I need to go to the gym. I'm 5 days minimum a week, ideally 6 days, maybe even 7 days. I don't care. I need to be going during the week because I need that. Right? Not like an addiction, but because I understand the significance of it. People aren't going to be going to the gym around this time of the year, but I will. I'm going to get an extra month of work, and I'm going to double myself up using compounding. Then we get to the second pillar, stillness. Once you're going to the gym, keep on going. Don't jump around. And stillness also includes the reflection piece. Now, it's important to reflect, which is step 0, but you got to reflect based off of the movement you've been doing. So maybe journal a little bit or make a video. Who cares if you don't post a video, but if you sit down for like 5 minutes and talk to your camera, you'll notice the change it has in you. There's so many videos I've saved on my computer from like a couple months ago that I won't ever post. I'll be honest, they're really depressing. If I ever post them, that'll be like a huge moment. But making videos or journaling or prayer. Prayer is essential because you're reflecting, you're going to the Lord to ask for wisdom and to be appreciative. Having appreciation and reflection through prayer is essential if you want to be calmer as a man or support yourself in the ways you are going and where you are going. Maybe 2 minutes of just chilling out and breathing, maybe sitting in silence with your thoughts. Just try something, be still for a moment. Stillness teaches you how to slow your impulses. Remember, I talked about the impulses that cause you to just jump to the next big thing. You want to slow your impulses down once you find something you're capable of performing in. Pillar number 3 is creation. So you have purpose and your momentum. You are not only just moving and you're looking at it and you're staying where you are, but you're building momentum to keep you going. So whether it's, building a meaning, right? You want to build a meaning. So you're going to write, you're going to read, you're going to work on your skills. Speaking of writing, I want to write a book one day. That'd be pretty cool. I got all sorts of life experiences that people have been telling me, oh, Nolan, write a book. So it'd be cool to write a book, right? But building your future just for 10 minutes, right? Do a little something, right? Create something. I'm creating these videos, right? A man, even in a relationship perspective, needs something to create because he needs something that he can go to take his stress out off of, right? I'm taking all my stress, all my worldly behaviors, and I'm just chucking them at these videos. And you can watch them, you can learn something from them. But at the end of the day, it helps me, right? It's nice to teach you and you to learn from them, dear viewer. But this helps me a lot. And it's better than going to a partner and lashing out, or to my family, because now I have something to just get it out there. I don't need to be appreciated or, validated for this, but I'm just getting it out there. And that could be working on a car, that could be making a video, that could be writing a book, that could be anything. Maybe it's doing schoolwork. Just get a little something. And then not only you're doing something healthy that makes you feel good, but you are creating something that is beneficial to your journey and the world. Making a car is awesome. You learn how to make a car, and it's beneficiary to the world because now you're learning how to manage automobiles, which helps if you see someone with a broken tire on the road or something like that, right? Purpose is not found, but it's constructed. People like to say you find a purpose, and you do discover a purpose, but, sometimes you just got to build it, if you get what I'm saying. And of course, pillar number 4, standards. That's where your identity shifts. You go from the I want to do this to the I am doing this type of man, right? Standards turn a boy into the man. One standard every man must have for himself is like not scrolling in bed or not eating after 10 p.m. because, or whatever time, because he understands that if he eats, he's going to stay up a little bit later and his gut will be messed up. Or you can't lie to yourself, even if the truth hurts. Especially in prayer, you have to say things that you're willing to say to God, not what you're ready to say to God. So many people want to say, me especially, I'm not ready to say this, but I have to be willing, right? I have to tell him where I messed up. especially in relationships, a very sensitive part of my life, right? And of course, you can't be chasing things, right? You can't be chasing around someone who doesn't love you. You can't be chasing a business idea that you know is not going to work, but certainly focus and grind your butt off to have things come to you. I've had people reach out to work for me. I've had contracts come to me, and that's not from a point of arrogance, but that's from a point of building myself up. You got to build your garden up and butterflies will come to you. And it's not some obscure saying, that's a fact. It's a fact of reality. You want to go to the millionaire and you want to look well to impress him. So if you become the millionaire, then people likewise want to do that with you. So of course, don't become successful to have people come to you, but become successful to find yourself within yourself. Come to yourself. And that's where you set the standards. So here's the 30-day transformation we want to go for. Week number 1, let's stabilize. Let's just set things straight and be clear. Let's focus on having movement and stillness. Let's push into a direction and just hold it there. I mean, that's 30 days, man. You live what, like a bajillion days in your life? Obviously not, but you live a lot of days in your life. So 30 days is negligible. So just have 30 days where you push for one idea and you keep it going. I mean, on YouTube, if you want to measure the difference between like thumbnails or video performance, it takes like a long time. It takes like at least a month minimum to really measure an identity shift. So, within your 30-day period, choose one thing and focus on it a little bit. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be grandiose. It doesn't even have to be successful, but just try it out. If you knew you only had to fail 34 more times before you got your big win, I mean, I don't know about you, but I would just be spamming failure after failure. So maybe that's starting up a YouTube channel that goes nowhere, but at least you tried it. At least you built it, and who knows, maybe it does take off. You'll never know otherwise. So set a goal, calm yourself, break chaos loops, and you'll overcome addictions or distractions. Maybe you're lusting, and now because you're building a more regimented routine, you don't need to lust anymore. It's not something you're craving. You want like real love. You're building your desire and you're shifting it to something that has better habits. Week number 2, you're going to build some rhythm. So now you've been going at this for a little while. It's been 7 days. You're just building this up. You're trying to keep yourself stable. Now you have rhythm. So add a creation to it. Now you want to create something. You want to feel something. You want to make something that is beneficial to you and beneficial to someone else. Even if it's only like 5 to 10 minutes, it doesn't have to be big. It can be like a little note that you write down and you post on Instagram. Who cares? Just be a little something. Be a little helpful. People love it when you help them. So help people because it's good. And of course, add a little bit of strong standard to it. You want to have some standards to yourself. And finally, week number 4, you're going to become the man. Or sorry, week 3, not week 4. We're not there yet. Week 3 is increasing standards. So you've added a little bit of standard. You've added some momentum here, but now you got to start removing things. Remove destructive habits. Remove things that mess you up, whether it's waking up too early or waking up too late, sleeping in too late, eating the wrong bits of food, right? If someone offers you some candy, I know you want it, and it's only one Kit Kat bar or it's one little bit of Smarties, but tell them no, right? Even if it's like a Halloween treat or a Christmas treat, tell them no. Set some standards and be critical on it. And you can go home and be happy and appreciative that you didn't make those decisions. So of course, setting standards means not only appreciating what you're doing right, but removing what you're doing wrong and be appreciative of not doing what is wrong. Then you get to week 4, which is becoming the man. So you've stabilized, you've built a rhythm, and you've increased your standards, which is fundamental, but now you're becoming the man, which is the whole point of this thing. So life begins to feel clean, it becomes predictable, and it becomes masculine. And predictability is masculinity, after all. A woman comes to a man because she wants to feel safe. If a man's unpredictable, that's not safe, and certainly she can't foresee a future with him. Men love to imagine things. They love to imagine the wife that they could have and the kids that they can play with. But a woman wants to foresee a future through predictability and pattern recognition. They're detail-oriented, after all. But if you are not predictable, you cannot be a good man. People need to say, you are going to achieve this in the future, or you are going to end up here. Be predictable, which is not a bad thing. But life feels calm when you're predictable because you have trust in where you're going. You know certainly where you're going, and you realize change doesn't require pressure. It never did. It only required some structure. Overall, though, just to conclude, you don't need to fix your life in one day, and you certainly don't need to fix it in 30. But if you take 30 days just to try some stuff out and just to push yourself to just maybe do a little bit more in some areas, and importantly, a little bit less in others, because you can't just do more in life, you have to rearrange the energy that you have, then you'll find some pleasure in it, and you'll find some fulfillment, some healthy pleasure. You'll find your desires are actually adequate and your desires are healthy. It's lovely to want to be loved, and it's lovely to want to be safe and comfortable and loved and cared for, and just all these things we desire within ourselves. But lusting and doing all this nonsense is not a good way to fulfill that desire. You'll find you're trying to fill a void that's ever expanding because of the shame. But in doing this 30-day trial period, or even if you don't want to see it as a 30-day trial period, just this new lifestyle that you can keep with forever, then you'll work around these desires and you'll find the desire to be loved can be fulfilled with meaning and beauty and projects and God and family. These are good things. These are good habits to work towards, right? So this blueprint, it's simple, but it's quite powerful. And you'll not only realize these things if you've sat and reflected for a moment. I can only realize these things and note them down because I've sat and reflected for so long, because I've made like 180 videos in like the last 70 days. So stick to it. Keep on going, man. And don't look at me as this man who's got it all figured out. Believe me, I don't. It's a struggle. I'm making these videos at random times in the day. It takes me 4 hours to do like a 30-second video because, my computer is so slow, but just look to me for some wisdom. Look to me for some appreciation, and you'll find a lot of meaning in life. Because your life doesn't change by accident. It changes because you finally become the man that's responsible for it. My name is Nolan T. Painter. I love you, but God loves you more. Stay blessed, and I will be seeing you tomorrow.